Were you successful? Let's solve this together. And I'll start with the main title. Here I want to create a H1 title because that is how we create a heading, a main heading, which is visible on the screen in HTML. And then here I'll just say my upcoming challenges. Now we also want to have that link back to index.html. And for this we could add a paragraph with some text and a link, or if we just need a link, we can also use just the anchor element like this. And then maybe say view today's challenge. But of course the link text is up to you, and if you picked a different text for solving this challenge, that's of course absolutely fine. We should give this link a ref attribute to tell the browser where this link should lead to if it's clicked. And in this case, that's index.html because we want to go back to that index.html file if that link here is clicked. And then we want to have some paragraphs with our goals. And for this, I'll add a paragraph element here, of course. And then let's say my first goal is repeat what I learned about HTML and CSS. And then my second goal is that I want to do the exercises on HTML and CSS. I guess you already did that, but maybe you want to do it again. And then I'll add a third paragraph where I say dive deeper into HTML and CSS and build more complex websites. Whatever. These are my goals here, let's say. Now with that, if we save this, if I reload, we see that content here, and I'll zoom in a bit to make it a bit bigger on the screen, but it's lacking any styling. Because we do have that CSS file, but it's only getting imported in that index.html file. Now I could just import that CSS file into this other HTML file, and that wouldn't be a bad idea, but I want to practice writing CSS code again, so I will actually create a new CSS file and write the files from scratch there, and then thereafter see if we can maybe reuse some styles across pages. So here I'll add a second file, which I'll name fullweek.css, and in there I want to define my CSS styles. Now I will definitely bring my own font families, or I will use them from Google to be precise, and hence I will definitely copy these Google font imports, since I want to use the same fonts from Google. Copy them from index.html into full week. Maybe here, doesn't matter if it's before or after the title. And then thereafter I'll add a link with a ref pointing at my full week CSS file and rel set to style sheet, so that I also import my own full week style sheet into this HTML file. And now we can get started writing some CSS code. Now I do want to set my background color, and I want to center all the content, and therefore in full week CSS, we definitely want to target the body again, so the overall body element, and there add a background color, and set this to the same color as I used before. And if you copied that color value, that's of course fine. Here it was 233, 215, 207. And center all the text content by adding text align center. Now with that saved, we see that it works. Now I also want to target the H1 element, and there set the font family to Oswald and add a fallback font of sans serif. That's what we also did before. And for the paragraphs on this page, I'll set the font family to Fira Sans and give it a fallback of sans serif. And also set the text color, and I'll set it to RGB and then 83, 75, 75. But you can pick any color you want. And I'll use that same color also for H1. Since it is the same color, we could also apply it here to the body even, and get rid of it here on H1 and P, since that will then automatically apply to all the content inside of body. And since I want to have the same color on all the elements here, that also is something that would make sense here. Of course, it's also something you could take advantage of here in the daily challenge CSS file. Here you can also remove that from H1 and P and instead add it in body. That's just a side note. It's something you can do, but you don't have to do. And in general, in web development, you will always have different options of doing something, but here we can save a couple of extra lines of code if we do reuse the same color for all the content, if that's our goal anyways. With that, that's looking better. Now the link still has the wrong font family because it's not inside of a paragraph, and therefore here I'll target my link and also give that a font family of Fira Sans serif, or we of course wrap our link with a paragraph, then it would also get that paragraph styling again. Again, these are alternative approaches you could use. Here I'll just style the link separately. Speaking of the link, I want to style it anyways. I want to get rid of the text decoration and set this to none. And I want to give it a color, and that's again the color I used before with a red value of 167, then a green value of 1, and a blue value of 78. And we can also already add the hover style here and set a hover to text decoration underline to bring back the underline if we're hovering over the link. Now that looks better, and now I can hover over this link, and of course I can also click it to go back. Now you can change the font sizes of those paragraphs if you want to, but I'm actually fine with the sizes I have here, and therefore that's now this challenge solved. That's this exercise completed.